All right. It's the first episode of a brand new podcast in your ears, Chibhubhubhu, which if you don't know what that means, I feel sorry for you. Chibhubhubhu is that action that happens right in front of the goal where no one knows where the ball actually is, but there's just feet kicking from in and out. So this is what our soccer podcast is going to be. It's really not just soccer. It's basketball. It's going to be a little bit of F1. It might be a little bit of rugby, some cricket, really all sports that you have probably seen on television. We know something about and we're going to discuss. So this is your first episode and we're coming in with that hot fire. I've got a good panel of guests here. All of them, unfortunately, are Man United fans. So please don't turn us off because they're United fans. Some of them speak sense, and then we have others that you just find out as you listen to the podcast on your own. So without further ado, I'm going to let my boys introduce themselves. But first, I got to introduce myself. My name is Tate Madzima. I am a fan of the Gunners, Arsenal, and I reside in Denton, Texas. And these are my boys from all over the world. We are all Zimbabwean, so we hold that together in common. And Chibhubhubhu is the way that we grew up playing soccer on the streets, or if you not really the streets, really at break time during school. So that's who I am. I'm your host with the most. I put that avocado on that French toast. It's disgusting, but we do it. And I'm gonna let my boy Ushe introduce himself. Come on, Ushe.
Yes, I'm Ushe Kosana. I support Manchester United, the only team, the one and only. Yes, and that's it really. I think I talk sense, and I'm a proper fan. Unlike some people who have no basis or facts or stats, but I'm there.
That's a nice layup to what's going to happen in this podcast. Tendai, you are up.
Yeah, hi guys. My name's Tendai. Manchester United supporter. Born and bred in my heart. Not born and bred in Manchester. But in my heart, Manchester born and bred. True Manc forever.
Come on, Shalom.
So I'm just gonna start by saying I'm common sense, and I'm just here to help you guys. But anyways, I'm Shalom Mukamuri. I live in Pennsylvania in the United States, and I've been Man U from day one. And yeah, again, I'm common sense. So
Okay.
So get ready to hear some wisdom.
We're ready for this. And then finally, last but not least, Mr. Tafadzwa Hove.
What up? My name is Tafadzwa Hove, but on the streets they call me Hove. So what people call me that in this podcast. Interesting point. I used to be a Liverpool fan.
Oh no!
I grew up a Liverpool fan.
Oh my goodness, no.
Imagine John Barnes. Then I saw the light. Hey, you know what I mean? You know the light. I saw the light, and then I became a Man United fan. And yeah, no turning back since then.
Wait, how long is
I
this?
live in Joburg.
How long has what been?
How long have I been a Man U fan for?
Yeah. Okay, how long were you a Liverpool fan, and how long were
I
you?
about.
It's long enough for us
I was a
to.
Liverpool fan till I was 15. G.
Oh man! Wow!
15, bro.
Wow.
I don't know. That's hitting me, man. It was tough. I didn't know any better. That's what I said. I didn't know any better.
You're a delinquent.
My dad
I think I
John
need to
Barnes.
change.
He was like, you need to support Liverpool because
Oh my goodness! Well,
I think I need to change my loser of the week.
Oh, you
because,
loser.
Yeah.
Hey! Don't jump the gun here. Don't jump the gun. So these are the people that we have today. The format of our podcast is very simple. We're gonna discuss sports. Mainly because we love sports, and we think we have an opinion that you guys should hear, and it's really important. So really, we're gonna kick it off with some upcoming events. We want to tantalize you and get you ready for the weekend. And what could be more tantalizing than the FA Cup final this weekend, which will be contested between the Arsenal and Chelsea Football Club, both based out of London. So we just want to talk a little bit about the game, and I'm gonna have the panel talk about who they they think will come up tops and what they think about that. So Tendai, who do you think who do you have going in this game? What do you think the setup is going to be like, and who do you see winning?
Okay, so I actually think that I'm going to start off with the man of the match. The man of the match is going to be Troops from HTV.
Such a hater already.
No, like honestly, honestly, the best thing about Arsenal progressing in a tournament or playing a game is AFTV. Like, I think I actually enjoy it more than the United channels. But let's talk about the game. Look, it's a tough one to call because it's a cup final, neutral venue, no fans, and you'll see stuff like, for example, Olivier Giroud can have a fantastic day.
Right.
I think it'll be his day. I think they'll play a lot of balls up into a lot of crosses into him.
Yeah.
He's possibly going to be the man of the match for me, and I think Chelsea can take it 2-1.
Yeah. See, as an Arsenal fan, I know it's a dreaded thing to be in a final again against Chelsea. Since the last time we were in a final against Chelsea, it didn't go very well. But I think one thing that Mikel Arteta has set us up for success in is being able to play without the ball. So we don't have a lot of creativity when we have the ball. It's just wasted and rotated. So I can see us sitting back long enough throughout this game and trying to hit Chelsea on the counterattack. So the person that I actually think we would probably need to watch out for is the young American Christian Pulisic, mainly because he's been on such good form. I remember that last game against Liverpool when he came in and changed the game at halftime. So I think if Hector Bellerin on the right can limit Pulisic, Arsenal will have a good day at Wembley. So my prediction, I'm going with my heart instead of my head, is a 2-1 victory to Arsenal, where we have about 30% of the ball possession.
So you're shaloming.
I'm shaloming, yeah, but shalom. Here's the thing with shalom.
I agree though. Like, okay, wait. Before you start analyzing me, I actually agree with Tate right now. Like, I'm like, he's been playing really well. And also just the whole team has just had a kind of like almost like they're showing promise, and even the last few weeks, you can see that like they have like this hunger that they have, even though they didn't end super well like in the EPL. I think that Pulisic has been such a revelation, like for real. Like, I mean, we knew he was good, but like the way that he's shown up in the last few weeks has just been like crazy, and I don't see him stopping now. So.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. I'm doing a shalom, but here's the thing: I'm going to give shalom a little bit of credit. So throughout the whole season, in our group that we're in together, we run a picks of the week for like 6 big games, and Shalom won that. And every time Man United was on the picks, he made sure Man United was winning. He didn't care who they were playing against. It didn't matter if Man United was playing the greatest team of all time.
Thank you.
The greatest team of all time. Shalom would pick Man United to win like 3-0. And it's like, how is that even possible? So anyway, but to his credit, he won.
You see the money one, I had United losing a few times.
Oh,
like,
okay.
if money is involved, I'm not.
So without money being involved.
Hey, which money one are you talking about? I know nothing about that. Zimra might be listening.
No, it's not real money. It's monopoly money. It's monopoly money.
Oh, okay, all right.
We don't have to pay taxes. We're good. Ushe, what are your thoughts about the FA Cup?
I think there'll be two men of the match. The first one would be David Luiz.
Okay.
For Chelsea. I'm just saying, guys, he could have a brilliant game or just have the opposite. He can do these things, but I think the person to drive that for Chelsea would be Pulisic as well. I just think that guy he's better than I expected him to be. There was a time when I actually made fun of the guy. I was like, typical Chelsea signing, they won't do anything, but he's on point.
Yeah.
I do like what Arsenal is doing with Arteta, but I just think right now, it's one of those things where you guys have your own days, but I think, I see Chelsea I think 3-1 Chelsea.
Okay.
And it's sad, because I want both teams to lose.
There are many weekends in the Premier League when I'm like that. When teams are playing, I'm like, I wish both of them would get -1 points, but apparently not. What about you, Mr. Hove? Who do you have for this game, and what are your thoughts?
I see it going to extra time. I see Chelsea winning.
Okay.
I just think that in terms of, cup finals are very tricky. And I think the big question, I agree with you, I think it's going to be down to, I don't know if, I think that Arsenal can run the game in the sense that just from observing how Chelsea play kind of override the midfield, and the midfield is kind of there to kind of take space.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen on the wings, because I think Tierney and Bellerin are going to be key.
Yeah.
Because the real issue is that Chelsea also are not a very creative team.
Yeah.
Either. But I think I agree. It's gonna be interesting because you've got Giroud, whose movement is, I'll never forgive Victor Lindelof for the game where we lost. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see, because I think the reason why Giroud is going to be the game changer is that dude's movement. That guy is so key. That guy's movement is going to be so key.
Yeah.
And I just see it being one of those things where both teams are going to be kind of scared. It's going to come down to like a moment of magic.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to experience. And I think that Chelsea have the edge on that.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Chelsea 2-1, but I see it going to extra time.
Okay. And Shalom, last but not least, give us your take. You've already said you love Chelsea.
I mean, Chelsea's gonna win, definitely. Like I like in my view, I think they have, even though both teams have what it takes to win, and also Arsenal is really good at cup games. That's just FA is your thing. You guys are very comfortable there. I just feel like Chelsea's trying to turn a new page. I feel with Lampard, I feel like they're gonna push real hard. They're gonna be super hungry, and Pulisic has just feels like he has so much to prove. So, and I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good game. I see Chelsea winning during one more time, maybe 3-1. That's probably it. Yeah.
Okay. So will you guys be as non-fans? Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
That's a
Tef.
question.
Yes.
The big question is, should Arsenal want to win that game? Should Arsenal want to be in Europa League?
You know what?
Is this a good move for them progressing?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I'm gonna speak on a personal note. On a personal note, I would not like to be in the Europa League, but I hate losing to Chelsea. So if the choice is between losing a game to Chelsea and being in the Europa League, I will begrudgingly take being in the Europa League. But I think the way the season is set up next year, with how compressed everything is because of COVID, and then having the Euros in the summer, there's just not a lot of time for downtime.
Yeah.
For players, so the less amount of competitions you're in where you have to travel across the continent, the better it is going to be for your squad. And we already have not a really good squad as it is, so it feels like if we were in the Europa League, which is it's a European competition, but it's a B European competition. No one wants to be in it that's successful. So if we were in that, it would mean that we were using our main squad to play in Rostov or in Norway in the middle of the winter and things like that. And I would just prefer that we were focused on the league. And it's done wonders for teams that have won the league in the recent past. So, when Chelsea won the league a few years ago, they weren't in Europe, so they could just focus on games every weekend. When Leicester won the league in 2016 or whenever that was, they weren't in Europe. So I don't think we're going to win the league, that we don't have the quality for that. But I think if we want to make a push for being back in the Champions League, our best bet is not having to play midweek games in Europe. So yeah. So even though I predict I predict that we can win, I think it's gonna be I think it'll help us financially a little bit, but I think it'll be a detriment to our team in the end. So yeah. So just as a recap for everyone at home listening, I'm the only one that picked an Arsenal win as the Arsenal fan. All my Man United fans over here have picked Chelsea triumphing over the Gunners. So we'll see what happens this weekend on Sunday on your preferred channels. I know it's on ESPN Plus here in the States. It's on DSTV in Africa, and it's all over the internet wherever else you are. So that's great. But I want to move on to our next segment. and this is a segment that's close to you guys' heart, and I just wanna hear what you have to say. So, but first, I'm gonna start by playing something, and then we're gonna go there. So I just want you guys to listen to this, and I wanna hear what your response to this statement is.
Listen, all you've got to Man United might not thank me, but get the contract out, put it on the table, let him sign it, let him write whatever numbers he wants to put on there, give him what he's done now since he's come in, and let him sign the contract and go. Ollie's at the wheel, man, he's doing it, he's doing his thing. Man United are back. That should have been the closing. I should have let you do it tonight.
So,
Rio
Ferdinand.
This is perfect.
Oh yeah.
Rio Ferdinand said Man United are back. So, as Man United fans that have been watching Man United over 38 games this last season, is Man United back? I'm going to go with, let's start with Uche. What do you think?
Thank you. It's complicated, right? But what I'll say is, we're on our way back. Rio was excited. I was last year as well. So things didn't work out the way we planned. But after that, I think what he's doing now is getting back to where we're supposed to be. And I think what he meant to say is Ole knows what United ethos is. And what Ole is doing now is rebuilding that team. So, yeah, I think we're on our way back. We're not going to win next year, maybe even the year after, but I think long term, this team is going to win something.
Tendai, what do you think?
Oh wow, how long do you have, eh?
The floor is yours, my friend. The floor is yours.
Wow.
I could have talked longer. Oh.
Look,
oh no.
Myself.
It's fine.
Look,
we'll come back to you.
What I'll start off with is the fact that since Fergie left, I don't think there's been a more exciting time to be a Manchester United fan. I think we've seen as much. We've seen football that's as good as what we've seen under Ole. Especially, I remember I felt like I was in a time warp. The first time I watched an Ole team play, I was in against Cardiff last year, and like Man United played with a swagger, an arrogance, like PlayStation football. The type of football we see from Manchester City, the type of football we see from Liverpool and stuff. So know that type of football is within the team somewhere. It's just that when things are not working out, there's actually no plan B. Like Ole is a one-trick pony. Some would call him a fraud because he only knows how to play one way. And that could be down to personnel. And now I think we have the most balanced team that we've ever had. Like, I know Shalom's going to talk about the defense and whatnot, but like, I think in all areas, we are the starting 11. We have the best starting 11 that we've had in 7 years, I think. And if anything, Ole's legacy is going to be a foundational legacy. He's the one who has been able to take the nonsense out of the club, the players that are not good enough out of the club, not picking the players that aren't worthy of the badge, and buying players that are now able to take us to the next level. I don't think he's the coach to do so, to take us to the Champions League or to the Premier League title, but certainly in a very good space right now.
Shalom, what's your rebuttal?
Well, how do you know I'm gonna rebut, bro?
I've been in conversations with you for weeks. I feel like if you're not rebutting, you're
absolutely agree with everyone. Good night.
So that's so uncharacteristic of you. So uncharacteristic.
No. You know what? I don't like, especially with Tendai. Like, I mostly agree with you because I think that Manchester United we're in a good place. We're in a good place. It's like Ole, he is a one-trick pony, like he is. But at the same time, how many other coaches do you know where like you see something wrong with the team, and the coach does nothing all season? Like the whole season goes by and they never make changes. The fact that Ole does make changes is actually pretty good, right? And but at the same time, he doesn't know how to read game situations. So if the game is like if he has a plan and the other team has something that counters that really well, you rarely see him come up with a fresh concept. So normally you have to then rely on individual skill from like from Bruno, from Marcus Rashford, from any of those guys, or penalties, like we'll have to rely on that to actually break through. And so
Bruno
that's kind of
Fernandes.
right? And I think that's my biggest concern. What I think is that I don't think when you say the word back, I don't think we are anywhere close to where we were with Ferguson, because I think that it takes a certain kind of coach to push a team over the line of winning a championship. I think there's a mentality, there is just a way, or just like, I mean, Leicester that was a godlike moment. It was crazy that year. They played insanely, but I think normally the coach has to have a certain mentality, a certain experience, a certain drive with his team, a certain level of consistency to actually be able to play every single week. And one of the things that I will always remember with Ferguson was we won so many games 1-0, so many games, but he knew how to keep the team together, even though we went under pressure. A lot of times those final 10 minutes were scary a lot of the times, but you could see that the team really, really kept it together. But with Ole, you kind of see that he's lacking that. I would say, just wrapping it up, like, I think we're running two programs right now. We're running the team development program right now, and then we're running the coach development program with Ole. So we've two things. I mean, honestly, and honesty. In 5 years, it's very possible that he might win. I mean, look at the mentorship he's getting. He's around Ferguson, so you know that, like, there's no way you can be around such greatness and not be at least like good enough to be up there. You know what I mean? And so, great. Like, if that's the plan, to say, hey, for the next 5 years, we're just developing. We're not looking to win the league. I think we're entering into that almost like Tottenham phase, those few years where they were just like 2-3. I think we're gonna linger there for a while, and then maybe Ole will surprise us, and development will happen, and he'll like become the elite coach that we are always talking about, and he will actually drive us across the line, or he will transition to something that we already know he is like actually elite at, which is getting players, so like getting the right players, running the program. The stuff he has done has been awesome. Yes, of course, I have queries with Maguire and so forth, but we differ on solutions. But overall, he's done a great job. He's been really good. So yeah.
Taff, I'm gonna let you jump in on this. What are your thoughts? Is Man United back?
Oh man, I also have so much to say, but I don't want it to feel repetitive. So I I think that we definitely are back to winning penalties that we don't deserve. So that aspect of Man United is back. So we're back on that tip. The fans are back. Oh man, like, do yourself a favor. There's Arsenal fan TV, and then the Man U comments on the Facebook page. Just, if you ever feel like, you know what, you're down in life, just read that. So I want to echo everyone's comments. Firstly, I don't think Ole has done a great job. I think that his success has been underpinned by the fact that Tottenham and Arsenal have been terrible, if we're honest. 66 points should not get you anywhere close to top four. Let's just be the realist. He spent £200 million over the weekend. So I think and I think you always have to be objective, and you have to ask yourself, is that a good job? No, it's not. I think we got 66 points last season, right? If I'm correct. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think he did really well. I think that if Arsenal and Tottenham were playing at the normal sort of standard that we've known them to play, then honestly, we would have probably been maybe getting into Europa. So I don't think Ole's done a great job there. The one thing I can say about Ole, which I think is good, and where I need to give him credit is I think that he's not a manager. I agree with Shalom. He's a coach, right? So he's not the person who's going to give you tactics and whatnot, which I think is not a problem because I think that every team, it's like life, right? We all go through different stages of progression. And I think that what Man United needed to do is needed to get rid of that toxic vibe that like Van Gaal and Mourinho had brought, right? Because everyone was not confident to express themselves, you know? Everyone was kind of like a robot under Mourinho.
Yeah.
And now what we're seeing for the first time is a level of individuality, which is exciting to watch. But also what it does is it shows that these guys can actually play. You know what I mean? They can actually play football. And when I talk about playing football, and I see the stuff that Martial and Rashford are doing now, it's exciting because it's kind of like, okay, there's more capacity, there's more football intelligence, there's more movement, there's more creativity to these guys. Um, I also think that the good thing that Ole has done is that he's a modern football manager. Right? Because if you look at why guys like Mourinho are struggling, is they kind of bring that old school. And as much as we don't like it, the people, football players are different now. They get huge salaries, you know what I mean? They see themselves on billboards. You can't come with that old school. This is our my way or highway sort of vibe, which is why I think players like, for instance, Pogba struggle. Because as much as Pogba is a great player, Pogba is a modern footballer. He's a baby. I think he just needed someone to put his arm around him and be like, "Oh, Pogba, don't worry, you're the man." And I think always good at that sort of stuff. I think the tricky thing is going to be the transition that needs to happen. Because at some point, you need a manager to come in who's going to be a bit more of a, less of an Ole in the sense that he's going to be like, okay, guys, you've developed, you've had your time, you're playing your football, and now we need to transition into a place where we're playing functional football, where we're a bit more of like what Pep has done, you know, where you can see players get frustrated because they're a bit restricted. But the reason they're being restricted is because the tactics require them to do a job, right?
Yeah.
A manager is going to come in and say to Pogba, you're not going to shine this season. You're not going to get a lot of assists, but you're going to do the job you need to so that tactically you can be winning the bigger games. So can Ole change into that person? I don't know, because I think it's one thing to sell players, and it's another thing to be able to say to your star player, like the stuff that Fergie used to do, you know?
Yeah.
Listen, if you don't do this job, you're out. And I don't know if Ole is the guy to do that. So, those are my thoughts.
So speaking about players, I mean, you've hit players on the head. I'm bringing you guys back in here on this. So we're in the off season now. You know, transfer windows open. So what would you say, as a Man United fan, the biggest need player recruitment wise is? What is the number one priority? So I hear Tendai with Sancho. Ushe, what do you say? What's the biggest priority?
Okay, exactly. Sorry, I'll bring you back just slightly. Just say a few things, then I'll jump into that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll a rebuttal. So Shalom says in-game management or all those things, right? I'm going to say something. Chelsea played 4-1-3. Tottenham played 2-1-2. Let me see. Arsenal played 3-1-1, drew 1, lost 1, 5. Liverpool played 2, draw 2. I mean, and then also this season, we're the only team to take points off Liverpool this season in terms of the top 6, right? So in top 6 records, Ole has the best record of the top 6 managers. He's and the best, and that's someone.
Arsenal as well. Remember.
You're talking about pre-COVID stats because Arsenal and City also beat Liverpool. If you remember.
Oh yeah, I realized that. I realized that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Those games
You won't get past Mazima. Don't even try.
When it comes to stats,
Guys,
Don't even try it.
as soon as I said Arsenal, I knew it was gonna. I was like, oh damn it, take it. So I'm gonna deviate a bit, and then someone else said something like, you know, if you pay attention to what the youth players, the former guys, all say about Ole, they all say he's not this friendly, cuddly kind of guy. He's a strict, mean guy, right? All the guys respect that guy because he's just strict and on point. He's not as nice as we think he is. So this whole thing of saying, oh, he's not mentally tough, these are opinions. I think if you look at
Hi,
what has been
Melody.
said on the ground, guys, you must look at it that way. When it comes to the team, right? Do you know what? When Ole came in, right, at United, we had players who needed to go. We had, like it or not, Lukaku had to go, Sanchez, Smalling, all those guys, right? But even then, Rojo, we had such a bloated squad of players who weren't even that good. And the first thing Ole had to do was to clear those players, right? So much so that he went into the season with a very thin squad. And we all, even I said it, I was like, guys, this team is too thin. And when went out injured, Marshall went out injured. We had people like McTominay, Fred, and who else in midfield? Pereira, guys. At some point, to play Pereira and Mata in midfield, guys. Come on. And he pushed until that point, right? So when someone says 6 points, right, it's not only United. The whole league has been poor because Arsenal doing Arsenal things, United rebuilding, Spurs under Mourinho. It's been a you can only beat what's in front of you, right? So all I'm saying is, I'm not saying he's the best manager ever, but I'm saying give the guy credit for number one. Because if you look at even all the predictions, no one thought United would get top four, even top three. So I think given what he had to clear players first before you get the right players. And most managers will be like, no, I can't have a bare squad. I'll keep these rubbish players. But he was like, no, for the sake of the harmony. And like you said, someone said it as well. You built that whole thing where there's harmony in the team and people are expressing themselves. I think Ole has done that. And his recruitment as well, guys. The players he has signed, I know Shalom will be like, oh, Maguire. But, you know, Drake, ooh, if you look at our defense beforehand, right, guys, it was bad. So he brought in Wan-Bissaka, there you go, Salam. Then he brought in
Yes.
Maguire. Then he brought in, of course, automatically that defense is now better, right? It's not the finished article, but it's a progression to it's better than last season. Daniel James was not meant to be a first team starter, but because we had no squad, he overplayed those games. So same thing. And of course, Bruno Fernandes is amazing. So if you look at the signings Ole has made so far, it gives you the confidence. And I think for the first time, you can say there's a certain transfer policy that United has, whereas before, Wood would just buy whoever they wanted to purchase, you know?
So
So I'm not saying
so
Ole's
who
going
should
to
they
win.
purchase now? Who is the first person on the team sheet that is needed?
I think the first person, funny enough, as much as the first person I wanted was Grealish, until I doubt we get him now because Aston Villa, because I still think we need to bolster the squad. But of course, Sancho is there as well. I mean, Sancho will be more of an attacking thing, but I think the way Greenwood is playing, I think this summer is more about depth, and in capacity, I would have thought someone like Grealish would have been very good because he's got good quality, but he adds depth to the squad. Exactly.
Okay, Tendai Sancho.
Definitely Sancho. Um, because of the depth issue. I think as a starting 11, we're fine in all positions. If you look at our defensive stats, if you look at even our clean sheets and stuff, people like to talk about De Gea and whatnot, but we have quality in every position on the field. We just don't have a good bench because we have to bring on Lingard, Pereira. Oh my gosh, like it's when you said our squad is a bit thin, the first player that came to my mind was Tahith Chong. Like it's terrible. Like we're
Bad.
just we're 11 players, literally. We need to get depth. So Sancho is there. I know people are talking about we've got Greenwood and so on and so forth, but if one of our front three gets injured, we're toast. So for the center forward role, we've got Igalo on the bench. Greenwood can come in whenever. And so for the left side, Daniel James can come in and do a job, here and there. Like he did score like 3 goals in 3 games or something silly like that. Like it was crazy. So let's start off the depth with Sancho. And there's no better to sign Sancho than now. Like if we don't sign him this season, I don't know if we're gonna sign him at all because he's not gonna wait for us.
True. True.
Yeah. Shalom.
Yeah, I say forget all those things. For real, because if for me, like, to be honest with you, the thing I love the most about Manchester United is the way that the youngsters have stepped up. that's just the culture of Manchester United has always been the way that we've brought up these young people. Greenwood, like I'm like this kid is phenomenal. He's amazing. You don't want to stifle his progress by bringing in another player, benching him, then hoping that like it works out. It's not. Trust me, because the moment you don't like reward someone like that, a kid like that, like I mean, soon, like you just become. He won't reach the potential that he's supposed to reach. I would say that like Manchester United needs a team director from the back, someone who actually like. We thought that was gonna be Harry Maguire, and I'm gonna preface this for Ushe who might start crying right now. I think Harry is a good player. I don't think he's a bad player. I think that he doesn't have like that leadership quality that everyone thought that he had when he first came to the team. And I think Manchester United was starved for leadership, and so when he came on and he was like jumping and doing those headers, remember like those videos that they used to show of him jumping up and headering like, and you know, making plays and everything. And then we just went like, team captain, take it, you know. I think you know, Bruno should probably be captain. You'll probably get the captaincy, and then have another player in the back with Harry Maguire. The reason why I'm saying this is because when you look at the way the Premier League is shaping out to be, it's gonna be hard to break down a lot of these teams. And also, a lot of times, a lot of these games are gonna be as close as some of these games where we got scored in the final minutes, you know. And I think that you need a defense that is disciplined through and through. The defense cannot sleep at any point of the game, at any point, including what's his name, De Gea. De Gea needs someone to slap him around too. You need someone in the back who's actually going like, guys, we need to stay focused. Because I think, to be honest with you, with like our strikers are scoring goals, our team is playing well. Like I wouldn't say like I'm happy with what's happening. And Greenwood is just starting. Who knows? And also Rashford got injured, you know, and Martial wasn't consistent. I'm excited to see them playing next year. The way that they've become a team. They're focused. There's a lot of synergy, and I want to see that not disturbed. But what I think that for them to really get rewarded for the work they're doing is to make sure that the defense never sleeps. And I think that Maguire is not only not enforcing the defense, but he's becoming the cause of the defense sometimes falling apart. You know, like and I'm like, no, dude, you're like positioning and everything. But at the same time, coming back to my point at the beginning, I think he's a good player, and I think it plays out really well. And I like that style that Manchester United is developing, really playing from the back. It's modern, it's fresh, but I think that you need someone who is like the captain of the defense.
I can
I
can
that's
sell
the
you
first
one
one.
David Luiz for
Nope.
2 million. I'm very available.
Keep your guy.
Keep it going. Hov, what are your thoughts? Who's the first guy on your list?
Hey. The first guy on my list is also Sancho. I'm
Okay.
definitely gonna go for Sancho, simply because, this one friend of mine pointed out, Sancho is only gonna get better with time, and you know how football is. If there's another move where we have another like Neymar move, you know, where one player goes for an overinflated price and player prices go up, I don't think we'll be able to afford him. I think get Sancho now. As I said before, as Man United, we need to understand we're in the process of developing. He's 20, he's going to grow with us. My original option, you know, I was a bit like Shalom. Me and Shalom, we share the same opinion. Maguire. You know what I mean? He is, you know, there was a game I watched, and the commentator literally were like, who knows? Maybe the team can beat Man United if they can get a chance to isolate Maguire. You know what I mean? And when commentators are saying that, because obviously they're going to be as PC as possible. That's the commentator saying. I just own this whack. So I mean, the thing is, and the problem with look, I wanted to get Koulibaly, but then I realized the guy's turning 30 next season. You know what I mean? He's probably gonna cost £80 million. Rather top that money up and then go and get yourself Jadon Sancho. And then I think the second thing we could do is just kind of invest in a replacement for Matic, because that is the real
Yes.
MVP in that defense.
Yeah.
Him and one Bissaka, you know what I mean? Because Matic does so much when he drops in, especially when Maguire goes and he runs, where he just disappears into the distance and is out of position. So I think what's his name, Malinko Savage. I think he'd be great because he can play that deep, low, you know, playmaker position, physical, can score a bit, can pass a bit. And then thirdly, to be controversial, I think we should sell Luke Shaw and get like a Chilwell. That's
I
just
agree.
me speaking. And the reason why I'm saying that is that Luke Shaw is such a good player. And I think the biggest reasons he struggled in a couple of weeks is because you can see he's missing. Because the runs he makes on that left flank create so much space. But the problem is that dude is injured every 10 games, you just know. Like, if I see him playing more than 5 matches in a row, I just like, this dude's getting injured. So I think once we can get money, let's get someone who's not going to get injured. Yeah.
Okay.
Williams is there.
Brandon Williams, you think he should take the throne?
Williams.
Yeah, I think he's the future.
Okay. Well, as you guys have heard, for yourself,
Yeah.
The United fans think.
Hello.
Wait. Let me recap. Let me recap, and then you can come back in.
Wait. Well, I would not use the word future with Brandon Williams. I'm sorry. That one game when he's so fire, he fell. Like, I think he fell twice.
But he's young.
Twice.
No, you gotta
he's
give him a
was
chance
tired.
to get his feet.
Isn't
Yes,
Brandon
yes.
Williams like 19 or something?
Yeah, he's 19. You gotta give him some time.
Tired.
You need to reserve. You see, this is my overall feeling with Manchester United. I feel like for me, like okay, and I was about to talk in Sean, but I'm getting emotional. When you're used to eating chicken and rice, and then one day someone hands you, like, I don't even know what's whack nowadays, like something whack, right?
Life is good, Shalom.
Right? No, like
Life is
no,
that
when you eat something like, I don't know, grass, right? And then someone gives you something that's in the middle. You don't celebrate like Rujga rice. You know what I mean? you need to save those comments, like things like the future. Greenwood is the future. He's like, when I look at Green, I'm like, yes, that's the future. Williams, he's definitely on the sell list for me. Like,
So here's the thing.
Can I come in?
Yeah, no, come in.
Left back. He's a future left back. That's wrong with that.
Look, I kind of.
I mean, you'll be
agree- I
playing
kind of
left back in the
agree.
future, but maybe not for us.
Look, I kind of agree.
You agree?
I kind of agree, Kuti. Putting too much pressure on. This is where I agree and disagree with Shalom, because he seems to like Greenwood as like a definite starter every game, but not like the same for Brandon Williams. I'll say, Kuti, let's not put too much pressure on these youngsters, because these youngsters are still 18 and 19. They're still, Magaramba Nimskana that weekend, that type of thing can happen. So let's not have so much pressure on these lighties. Let's bring in Sancho so that Greenwood can play every 2-3 games. You can rest Rashford, you can rest Martial sometimes, and so on and so forth. Luke Shaw is solid. It's just the issue of his injuries. That's the only problem. But yeah, so we could probably get maybe someone who can play both on the left and on the right. We thought Dalot was going to be able to do that. Seems like Dalot seeing fire, and he's also always injured. So if we can get maybe a new youngster, I hear that there's a youngster coming through.
Matteo Darmian?
Late.
That guy was a
There's a
freeloader.
youngster called. There's a youngster called Ethan Laird. Apparently, he's even better than what's his name?
Then Brandon Williams.
One Bissaka.
Oh, okay.
Bissaka. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
So if we can, he plays on both flanks, right?
Yes, he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
we can, maybe groom that person. Maybe that person for us right now is Fosu Mensah. I really like Fosu Mensah. In games where you're not really trying to go forward as much, if you're looking to play defensively, Fosu Mensah can do that. So yeah, I think we're in a good place. Like I said, we just need to shore up a little bit.
Okay.
I really wish we got Grealish because I think for me I think Grealish is good enough to be like on the team, but at the same time I think he like I can see Greenwood like subbing him. I can see Greenwood stepping up to the point where he's like a constant starter. And the reason why also like I like your point, Tendai, about like these youngsters, we shouldn't put pressure on them. I think one of the issues that Man U had, they had no leadership. So these youngsters had to basically grow up by themselves. And so I think that with Bruno being around, I really think Greenwood next year is gonna have an insane season. It's gonna be like crazy stuff that he's gonna be doing, and I think he needs to be given that room. Give Bruno the captaincy, give him the full authority to run the team, and then you have Pogba as well bringing that experience. And I really think that if we don't disturb that ecosystem, they can really do amazing things. Like I'm not saying win Champions League or anything, but I'm talking about comfortably being top 4 next year.
Listen, we're gonna repeat this next year, next May. Keep yourself posted. We'll be here talking about whether Man United was back or if we failed in our attempts to think that they were back. But that's good. But we have to keep moving. Otherwise, we'll be at this topic for hours. This topic takes hours and hours anytime we discuss it. So we're gonna move on to our next segment, which is called Ref. And all I want from you guys on the panel is an answer to this question, and then you give me who you think should have won. So we're saying Ref. It's what you do when you complain to the ref when he blows for a foul that hasn't happened or gives a red card when it wasn't a red card. So the question is, did Jordan Henderson deserve to be the Football Writers Association Player of the Year? So I really want a one-word answer, and then I want to hear who you think should have won it instead of him. So Tendai, what's your answer to that question?
My answer is no. And I would have much rather preferred someone like TAA. I think he's punched way above his weight.
Yeah.
And really like for his age to be doing, for someone who still lives at home, to be doing what he's doing is pretty phenomenal. So yeah.
Okay, Shalom.
I think it's fair. Like I think it's fair. He's. Yeah, I think it's fair. You said yes or no. So
yes or no.
I think it's fair.
Okay.
I think it's fair. Yeah.
Okay. Ushe?
I say no. I say either Trent or Mane. I think they had more influence to Liverpool winning the league.
Yeah.
Trent, like someone just said before, in terms of influence, but Mane also, I think he's not getting the credit he deserves for this season.
Yeah. Tafadzwa Hove, do you think Jordan Henderson should have won the FWA Player of the Year? Yes or no?
Yes, I do think he deserved it. I think it's good because, as I said, I think modern footballers, these guys, are becoming a problem. So I think it's good to kind of remind people that it's not just about how good you are, it's about the sort of character and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to add, if this had happened and it was a Man U player and someone like McTominay had won it, would be fire. Let's be real. If McTominay had won it, you would not accept it.
Can I just say it's invalid because you support Liverpool as well. You support Liverpool, so you're...
Oh man, you're never gonna live that down. So here's the thing. At this point, we're split 2-2. I'm going to be the tiebreaker, and in my opinion, Jordan Henderson was a great leader on the field for Liverpool. I think it's helpful that they won the league for the first time in 30 years, but I don't think his contribution is what pushed them over the edge. So for me, it's a no. If we're going to pick the best player in the league this season, it would either have to be Kevin De Bruyne or Sadio Mane, because they were more influential to the success of their team. So Man City not winning the league means we probably take them off that peg, but I think Mane's goals and just his drive and his influence on that team was probably the most important key for them than Jordan Henderson's just leadership ability. So So that's that. But we're gonna move to our final segment here, which is called Apinzwadea. So when we were playing soccer on the streets, you know what I'm saying? I never played on the street, let's be honest. I live on the busiest road in Harare. But when we grew up playing soccer, we would play a game called Dea, which means for my English speakers, it's what we call a what's it called? Now I can't remember.
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg. There we go. Thank you, Tendai. So it's a nutmeg, and then if you're nutmegged, you have to go, touch a tree or something like that. So who is the person? So when we go to the Apinzwadea segment, we're talking about the biggest loser. So this week, we want to talk about who the biggest loser in the Premier League season has been this year. So I'm gonna go with Ushe. Who's your biggest loser? Diana Apinzwadea.
I think for me, it's not a player, but it's a team. Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you go from Champions League finalists to just scraping into the Europa League, and your manager celebrating like he won the league? I think to me, Tottenham really should have been. I think should have won the league or challenged Liverpool, but should have been far better than they were. And no one's given them grief. But yeah,
no one ever gives them grief. They're the darlings for whatever reason. People love them.
you see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What about you, Shalom?
I actually was going to say the exact same thing. Mourinho is definitely, for me, Mourinho is the biggest loser. Like I think he's done. In all honesty, he's refusing to change his style. His attitude. I think he still thinks that like that whole like bad boy thing is still cute. I think we're all past that, and it's not his style is not working on the field either. So I really think this season was a nail in the coffin for him. Even though they'll never admit it, they'll probably have another terrible season and then eventually fire him. But he's terrible. He's a terrible coach, terrible manager. And I wish him well.
Terrible person.
I wish him well in life.
Terrible husband, terrible chef, terrible
What about you? What about you, Hope? Who do you have as your guy Agapinzwadea or team?
I have the correct answer. All of you are wrong. The biggest loser is Watford. That's who the biggest loser is. You can't have four managers in one season. You bring in Nigel Pearson when your team is 7 points from relegation. The guy brings you back. He gives you a chance. He beats Liverpool 3-0 when we all thought it was impossible. And he gets sacked with 2 games left. Watford are the biggest losers. 2 games left. Get rid of this dude.
Tendai, who you got?
I actually have 2 answers. The first one is Taff Hove because he could be celebrating as a champion this season, but he decided to jump ship to Man United.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
The second one,
Oh man.
on a
So
more
great.
serious note, I think the biggest loser is VAR. I mean, it was an absolute shambles.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
VAR was shocking. And we knew it was bad. We knew it's always been bad. Like it's never had a good season. It's like Tyler Blackett. It's just always bad.
Amen.
Oh man.
So
Tyler who?
Tyler Blackett.
Tyler Blackett.
He's a Man United youngster. Give youth a chance.
Yeah.
Man United.
Oh yeah, he's not a United anymore. Yeah, that's true. Okay, VAR. I like that. That's a good answer. That's a great
Yeah.
answer. For me, my biggest loser is none other than Leicester City. I mean, how can you be that far ahead in third spot for months in the season? I think at some point I didn't check. I should check, but I think at some
Since
point
September.
they're about 15 points ahead of Man United in third at some point this season, and to just capitulate and capsize in the way that they did. We should have known it was coming. I mean, Brendan Rodgers is their coach, and remember what happened with Liverpool that one year. But I didn't have the expectation that he would fall apart 2 times in a Premier League race, just like that. So I think they're the biggest loser. I think they might be excited about being in Europe, but being in the Europa League when you had one hand on the Champions League throughout the entire season and then just dropped in focus, it's a pretty bad place to be. So that's my biggest loser. And I also agree with VAR. VAR just showed us how bad the officials were. And I don't know how it can get worse, but we are Zimbabweans, so we know things can get worse.
Never ever say we did rock to rock.
Can I just mention something quickly
Yes,
about
Tap,
Leicester
go ahead.
City? Quickly, Leicester. You know me, I believe in karma, and Leicester deserve that. Because how do you sell us Harry Maguire for 80 baht? This is what happened. I don't feel sorry.
Yes.
We were robbed. They robbed us. And then, God, thank you. God is true. God, you reap what you sow.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Hey,
Oh wow!
I cannot sum it up. I cannot sum up the end of our first episode any better than that. You reap what you sow. So this has been Chibhubhubhu, your sports podcast that you put in your ear. You know, we're dropping on Fridays so that you are ready for the weekend. So I just want to thank my esteemed panelists. Thank you for your thoughts and your opinions. You will be hearing from these guys again on our next topic. And look out for us wherever you get your podcasts. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. And, at some point, we're going to start asking you to send us money. Zimbra, not real money, Monopoly money. But yeah, this has been Chibhubhubhu. I'm your host, Tate Madzima, and we will catch you on the flip side. We out.